Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Cherubone Home Care, and we appreciate you joining us, however you may be joining us. You know, it's very interesting, I think, as we look at this time of year, as we consider the things that we do now based on how we've always done things. So I have a couple of examples for you. First and foremost, my mother loves to go and listen to music. She loves to go listen to the Cane Breakers. So whenever the Cane Breakers are playing, she wants to go. But as time goes on and my parents get a little bit older, it's a little difficult for them to drive at night. And so when it wasn't a big deal to go and listen to the Cane Breakers anytime they wanted to, now that it's at nighttime, which is when they normally play, I have to go and get them. So there's a little change that we have to make in our family to do that. Moving forward, case in point, Voodoo Bayou. My cousin Kyle plays and has founded Voodoo Bayou, and they really wanted to go and listen to him play on July the 4th. But one of the things that took place on July the 4th was we had an extreme heat advisory on that day. And it would have been very difficult for my parents in their mid 80s to be able to do that. So sometimes the things that we've always done, we have to realize that nature may be changing how we do that. One of those other issues, some people go to Florida, go to the beaches, and they love that during the summer. This time of year is when people really love to go out and enjoy that. There's a lot of things that are happening in nature that may make that a little bit more risky than it used to. One of those things, riptides. We've now seen several people who have lost their life because they've gotten caught in some of these riptides. It's been even some people who were very, very good and young athletes, even some athletes that were very healthy that got caught up. And you can see some of these riptides from this pictorial of from above, where this aerial view showing you where waves are coming in and those white riptides are being pulled out into the water. And so it's very important to pay attention to the signage. Here is a thermodynamic view with some coloring where you can see how the waves come in on one side and that water gets pulled out. A riptide gets pulled out in between. So that green diagram there, that green color shows you how these riptides are challenging and can pull people out into the water. You can see this visual rip current that's above the waters. You can see the waves around it, but there's this rip current that looks like waves going the opposite way. That is another very telling sign of a rip current. So when we showed you this first picture where we see here's some incoming waves, in between those incoming waves, very often we can see what's called a rip current moving forward back away from the beach. And people who are swimming can get caught up in these rip currents that are around these sandbars or beaches, and it can become very difficult. And we've seen people losing their lives here multiple times here recently in this challenge. Now, for people that love the water, I will tell you that, I've got family members that love the water on the beach so much, they had to get a place out on the beach. They wanted to go and do that. They got family that lives in Navarre Beach. They have their own place over in Destin. I want to show you some of the things that they've been experiencing. First and foremost, in Navarre Beach, this first video of these sharks that were swimming with the people. You see that shark fin swimming rather in between people in very shallow water. Now, they don't describe exactly what type of shark that was, but you can see there all of the people trying to get those others out of the water because there's sharks swimming right there, right next to other people with that large fin right there at the bridge near Navarre Beach. This took place at one of the other more very popular sites in Destin. Those people that are familiar with Destin Bridge, right under the bridge, there is a huge sandbar. And on that sandbar, it's called Crab Island. Crab Island is a huge tourist destination where lots and lots of people go. Just a few days ago, we were sent this video of 6 hammerhead sharks swimming right there in between all these pontoon boats. Again, you can see the Destin Bridge in the back, but those are some rather large sharks. Now, hammerhead sharks, by definition, are normally pretty docile. They don't really attack others or humans much, but they're searching for food. And so as these hammerheads are swimming in that area, kind of searching for food, they are not deterred by all of these boats and all of these people that are in the water. Just like the previous video of the sharks swimming near those other people, were not deterred. And these were six rather large hammerhead sharks. You can see the other two here swimming right near that anchored boat, that center console boat, right next to those other party barges. And so you can see that there are some things that naturally in nature we need to be aware of. And I know that we like to do things that we've always done. I will tell you, for many, many years, I spent July the 4th weekend right there in Destin with some of my tennis friends. We went to Topsail. We stayed at Topsail. We played tennis in the morning. We went and met the guys out on their boats at Crab Island every day. I would be a little cautious about swimming with hammerhead sharks. And so that's just some of the things we need to be aware of. And so we here at HTV are not telling you what to do or how to do it, but it's important for us to be aware of what is changing. As life changes, we need to change with it. So there are things that we need to be aware of. So what I'm telling you is, if we're going to make those trips, if we are going to go and do some of those things that we've always done, or do some new things that we've not yet tried, let's make sure that we're aware. Please be aware of the flags that are out about if it is dangerous or not to be in the water at all. Please do not swim on a double red flag, a red flag as well. But be aware of rip currents. They will let you know if, in fact, there's a concern at the beach where you are about rip currents, or be aware if there are rip currents. Certainly be aware if there are sharks that have been seen or in the area, certainly on that particular day. Take care of yourself and your family this summer. This is just a word here from HTV to let you know of what's happening and what to be aware of. That is all we have for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more when we continue on Bayou Time.